Pararescuemen, or PJs, fly from that aircraft through the ocean to the simulated survivor point. Coming out of that aircraft in about 10 seconds is Master Sergeant Joseph Pararescuemen, Master Sergeant Eric Lyle, Airman First Class Douglas Achievement, Staff Sergeant Kieran Carney, Captain Sean Vogel, and Lieutenant Brian Wall. Here they go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now the chutes that the Pararescuemen are using today are not unlike those used by the Golden Knights that you saw earlier. Those chutes have giving PJs the ability to fly into very tight spots into close quarters or close situations. And right now they're simulating flying to the surface of the ocean to get to the survivors. These Pararescuemen, or PJs, are highly trained Special Forces paramedics who are skilled in a vast array of survival and evasion techniques that will help a patient survive in the most inhospitable environments on Earth. They're among the most highly trained of America's Special Forces and take over 2 years to complete their specialized training in the combat rescue skills needed to protect America's Expeditionary Air Force. They are experts in parachuting, scuba diving, mountain climbing, medical treatment, and combat search, evasion, and rescue. A lot of wind out here today, so these Pararescuemen are getting a very nice ride. These chutes fly like an aircraft, so they're getting a great opportunity to look down at all of you. And in about 10 more seconds, they're going to be able to hear you. So in about 10 seconds, give them a warm welcome as they arrive at the show. HC-130 Hercules tanker from which these Pararescuemen just jumped can cruise at 250 knots. When time is critical to give medical treatment to a severely injured person at sea, an HC-130 can fly well ahead of the helicopters to drop the Pararescuemen, or PJs. When the PJs land in the water, they'll begin life-saving medical treatment long before the helicopter can arrive. Once the patient is stabilized and prepared for recovery, the Pararescuemen and patient can be recovered as soon as the helicopter arrives on scene. Shortly after they arrive in the ocean, the helicopter will come and complete the survivor pickup. Let's have a warm welcome to the Pararescuemen of the 106 Rescue Wing. Our rescue work is not without significant risks. One of our most dangerous rescue missions is chronicled in the book and the film The Perfect Storm, which was one of our rescue helicopters that was forced to land in the ocean during the perfect storm of 1991. Guys, these Pararescuemen enter the water, they have to be very careful with those chutes. They have to release those immediately upon water entry because the danger of those chutes falling back into the ocean and pulling them back into the ocean is very real. With high currents or undertows, that chute could actually grab one of those jumpers beneath the surface of the ocean. So they make a quick release and they'll be assisted in recovering those chutes by the Coast Guard. Provide command and control any radio relay requirements that may be needed and just to provide provide fuel later for the helicopter when it completes the survivor pickup. Ladies and gentlemen, from your rear comes the rescue. HH-60 Pave Hawk helicopter is a modified Black Hawk, which is specifically configured for rescue. You'll notice a probe sticking out the front side of the aircraft, and that provides an air refueling capability, which extends the range of the HH-60 very dramatically. The H-60 is flown today by Aircraft Commander Major John White. The co-pilot is Captain Faye Musselman. The flight engineer is Master Sergeant Jimmy Oley. Aerial gunner is Senior Airman Mike Alvazino. The first PJ that you'll see come out of the helicopter is Master Sergeant Mike Murphy, and the second pararescuemenist is Staff Sergeant Andrew Earl. Now, the helicopter crew is relying on great teamwork here to position themselves over the survivors and the PJs. They need to know the wind direction, and they're getting guidance from the flight engineer who's stationed behind the pilots. If you look closely about the center of the aircraft, you'll see the door open, and the flight engineer is now directing the pilots to the position over the survivor. The helicopter is working at an altitude of about 20 feet, and the pararescuemen deployed from there to get to the survivor as quickly as possible. Now, as those pararescuemen prepare the survivor, the helicopter will move away and will stand by to be called back in by the pararescuemen at the appropriate time. Again, it's a very, very deliberate and well-orchestrated teamwork between the helicopter and the water. The helicopter has a couple of different methods that it can retrieve the pararescuemen and the survivors. There's a rescue hoist that's on the aircraft that can lift up to 600 pounds from a 200-foot hover, but the pararescuemen can also re-enter the aircraft by use of a rope ladder, and that'll be demonstrated on this next pass. When the helicopter gets into the hover at about 10 feet, the pararescuemen have to fight against those hurricane-force winds caused by the downdraft of the rotor to climb into the helicopter. So these guys have to be in pretty good shape. Once again, as the helicopter approaches the scene, teamwork is paramount. The flight engineers are directing the pilots to the pickup point. Once they're at the pickup point, the pilots actually lose sight of the survivors, so they're completely dependent on the flight engineer's directions that he provides via the aircraft intercom. Once again, you're watching that hurricane-force winds that are generated by that rotor wash. That's equal to at least 100 miles per hour. So it's very difficult to work under that environment, and those pararescuemen really have to be well-trained and very, very comfortable working in a hurricane-force car wash. Primary mission of the HH-60 Pave Hawk helicopter is to conduct day-or-night operations in the hostile environments to recover down air crew or other isolated personnel during war. Because of its versatility, the HH-60 is also tasked to perform military operations other than war. These include civil search and rescue, medevac, disaster relief, international aid, counter-drug activities, and NASA space support. As those pararescuemen are working to get back into the aircraft, the HC-130 is orbiting overhead again to provide any radio communications capability, and later on we'll refuel the helicopter in flight. This ability to refuel is unique, differentiates us from our friends of the Coast Guard. We have the ability to fly that helicopter for very long periods of time. The HC-130 can carry up to 60,000 pounds of fuel, and the helicopter takes at any given time about 4,000 pounds. The helicopter can receive about 1,000 pounds a minute. So in about 4 minutes, even from an empty tank, the helicopter can be filled up for about 4 hours of flight time. The Pave Hawk is built by Sikorsky Aircraft Company. It's powered by 2 General Electric G700 engines, which deliver 1,500 shaft horsepower for each engine. The helicopter is 64 feet in length, and it has a rotor diameter of 53 feet 7 inches. Maximum speed on this aircraft is about 155 drag, which slows down the top speed of the helicopter. The crew configuration is a pilot, a co-pilot, a flight engineer, and an aerial gunner. In each of the windows of the aircraft are 2 crew-served machine guns, which are used as a defensive measure as the aircraft will fly into harm's way to provide any required firepower against an opposing force to the rescue. Caused by the massive heavy brake. Our ability to refuel in flight was a key value following Hurricane Katrina because massive power outages severely limited the ability for rescue helicopters to get to the right side of the C-130. There's also a few holes on the left side, and it is possible to refuel 2 helicopters at one time.
Live coverage of Thunder over the Boardwalk. 2008 Atlantic City Airshow on News Talk 1400 WOMD. News sponsored by Flood Insurance. Exceptional people, superior results. Rosita Homes, now building East Wing. Your home in Atlantic City. Call 609-340-8587. Joe Palillo for Mayor. Joe Palillo's Postcard Show. And the All-American Airspace and Speed Show. Stay with us. The excitement continues in just a moment.
Flood Insurance Company, a fourth-generation family-run agency, has maintained a tradition of quality service throughout New Jersey and the Delaware Valley. As a result, the agency serves respected businesses. Contractors, business owners, medical and professional liability, and individual and group and life health. Offices are located in Absecon as well as Vineland. Put a century of service to work for you. For more information, call 609-641-3000.